everything from a drone manager to a food technologist to of course, environment now, then a healthcare data analyst. Artificial intelligence and machine learning rules the world. So everybody who falls in the segment of creativity, because machines will run on information that is pre-read into them. And the difference between human learning and computer learning, or machine learning as we call it, is human learning after a certain age, so we believe, begins to stop growing as rapidly as machine learning does. Machine learning just grows and grows and grows. So machine learning will always be able to give you information.
Hello everyone, I'm Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Perfect Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Miss Alka Verma. She is a highly accomplished professional with an extensive career spanning over 3 decades. She has worked across 7 different industries and 9 functional areas, showcasing her versatility and adaptability. She holds a degree from prestigious Lady Irwin College and is an alumni of Lawrence School Sanawar. Known for her passion for startups, she believes that nothing compares to the excitement and adventure of navigating unstructured environment. She describes her startup as close to her heart, highlighting her enthusiasm for the challenges and opportunities they present. Currently, she is in active involvement with Zamit India, an edtech startup focusing on student skill development and connecting school ecosystem. With the wealth of experience and educational sales, marketing, communication, systems implication, she possesses a unique ability to drive startup venture on both national and global scale. Her expertise extends to various industries such as real estate, pharmaceutical, healthcare, and footwear, multi-level marketing. She is recognized for her exceptional leadership skills and resourcefulness in networking. And she is an energetic individual with excellent communication abilities, enabling her to build a strong brand presence for products and services. Beyond her professional accomplishment, she is highly regarded for her counseling and team building skills. So today she will be discussing with us about her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome, Alka ma'am. The platform is open. And now over to you.
Thank you so much, Jitendra. That was an amazing introduction. I hope I live up to much of what you have said. I must say most parts of it have been very, very exciting for me, and I'm surprised that you were able to encapsulate it in an introduction like that. So happy to be here with Read My Story, and as Jitendra just said, let's inspire the world.
Yes, ma'am. And thanks for coming and really feeling blessed to have you here today and looking forward to it. So first thing I'd like to know from you is like, how did your past life has affected the person you actually wanted to be in your life and what you are?
I wish I could say that it had a very great impact, but if I actually go into my background, I do come from a defense services background, and in 11 years I moved 13 schools in spite of being in boarding school for 5 years. So some of the things that it did teach me was to be a quick learner. I never had the time given to me to kind of take time to adjust. And the other thing it taught me was to embrace change. And I will not say adaptability with a definite reason. It said learn quickly, embrace change, be self-reliant, and accept whatever comes your way. Right. So my background was a little mixed up, I have to say, because of having changed 13 schools. Eventually, I finished my school. I was the last batch of senior Cambridge with physics, chemistry, and mathematics, which I hated. And the only reason I had to do it was because I happened to be good at studies. And as you know, at that stage, parents make these choices for you. And eventually, what I ended up doing was so much more communication related, so much more people friendly. But yes, it taught me discipline. It taught me so many other things which were of great value. So what I studied never really shaped the future of what I did, but it gave me the fundamentals to go with it. And I'm ever so thankful for that, Shreya.
Really nice. So, ma'am, if I ask you things you are passionate about in your life, what are those? And what is the role of motivation and inspiration onto it further?
That's a really difficult question because if I start telling you about my passions, they just go from one to the other. But if I have to take my pick, travel, because I believe travel opens up the windows of your mind and there is no learning like travel. Taking on new learning challenges is my passion, which is why startups is what keeps me excited and going. I believe I had ADHD in school, so my attention span was always very short. And it made me want to move from one thing to another and be challenged. The third thing that I'm passionate about is my home. So, there is this belief that if you are a working woman, then your home gets kind of neglected. But I must say that my passion to create a work-life balance, be as good a cook as a professional, care for my children the same way as I care for my colleagues. These are other things I feel passionately about. I'm a pretty self-motivated person, but the one person, or shall I say character, that has been my motivation and inspiration in life is this character called Dagny Taggart. It was a book that I read when I was probably 12 or 13 years old and didn't understand it. Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand still continues to be one of my favorite books. And there was this very dynamic woman who ends up owning the railroads of the country that she was in. And Dagny Taggart has been my inspiration and continues to be my inspiration and motivation.
Right.
I mean, there are lots of other people, but the one that really shaped my mind and my thought process would probably be Dagny Taggart, because she was ready to take on the world, and challenges was a big thing. And I think my life has gone on that route.
Really nice. Wonderful, ma'am. So, if I ask you, so how was your career look like? Like how you started, what all you did so far?
Okay, long journey, but exciting journey. As I said, for me, every startup is like a new love affair. And as I told you that I possibly had ADHD, us waqt nobody knew what ADHD was. So I have actually been through 8 very diverse industries and maybe 10 or more functional areas. In today's world, I would probably be called a generalist. But having said that, I have almost always reported to people who have been younger than me. And when I say younger than me, many, many years younger than me. So it's never given me the chance to sit back and say, okay, I know it all. Because they've been younger, but they've been smarter. And I've always had to work really, really hard to catch up with them. And I think of the 10 startups that I have worked with now, in 8, I have reported to people who have been way, way younger than me and way, way smarter than me. So I've always believed that experience and energy is the success of any startup. And so yes, I worked with pharmaceuticals, but I almost must tell you this, Jitendra, and your readers, I've always done things which are very women-centric. I'm not a feminist. I love somebody opening the door for me. I love somebody pulling out the chair for me when we go. But somehow my career has taken me down pathways where I have done very women-centric work. So for example, the pharmaceutical, that company that I worked with, I started the first all-women's division of a very large pharmaceutical company called Micro Labs, not selling gynae products, but selling cardiac and psychiatric products. I worked with Tupperware. I started up their program in India, starting with the East and then moving on to the South. I worked with Bata. I launched Marie Claire and Hush Puppies many, many years ago. Very familiar words now, but then they were startups. Of course, I have brands which have bombed like Marigold. What else have I done? I have been in the field of education, which has actually been the most exciting one for me, for over 16 years now, in which I have started up three very well-known schools called the Pathways Group of Schools. They were the first IB schools in this country, and so there was a big challenge in it, and it was amazing. Not just that, they were vegetarian international residential schools, so another challenge there. After that, I moved on, and this was way before the pandemic, into educational technology. I've always been, shall I say, a little bit foresighted. So when people were not talking about international education and artificial intelligence and machine learning, I was already thinking about it and thinking of scaling up. At that time, of course, one didn't know the pandemic would hit, and suddenly EdTech would become so important. So the company that I have been working with, or startup that I have been working with for the past 6 years now, as their resident director, is Zamit India. And what do? We upskill the school ecosystem. And when I say school ecosystem, it includes students, it includes teachers, it includes parents. Because without parents being upskilled, there is no way you can upskill the rest of the ecosystem. So we have these very specially designed upskilling programs. But even more important than that, our DNA runs on something that we call the Zamit quotient, which measures and quantifies future-ready skills. And that, I think, has been the most exciting part of my journey. It never lets me grow old. We are constantly discovering new skills which will be required. And I can see myself continuing to work here till the world is future ready. So here we go.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So, you have worked with so many startups and also launched so many products. So, you never thought of starting your own startup?
Very good question there, Jitendra. But I have to tell you this, that I did start my own startup. So, I've done my life in reverse. I started my startup, in fact, and completely different from what I'm doing now. I created the first boutique that made clothes, fusion clothes for Indian working women. And I ran it for 13 years very successfully. However, in the meantime, I had two sons, and my sons went away to boarding school. And by the time they came out, I realized that both of them were never going to be able to run my business. They didn't want to. So they come from this very corporate background. One of them is a banker in Toronto now with the TDI group. The other runs a rehabilitation center for addicts and alcoholics. So I said, okay, since my business is not, my startup is never going to go beyond a certain point, why don't I use? So I learned with my own startup, and then I shared with the other 10 startups that I have worked with. So yes, I did do it and I loved it. But then when you have a startup, you want someone to take it forward. I never found that someone to take it forward for me, is all I can say. Yeah.
Right. So now, ma'am, if I ask you your vision, mission and goal in life for next 5 to 10 years from now, so what do you think it is?
I don't have very fixed goals. As I told you, I'm a present moment practitioner. I go with whatever what needs to be done at that point in time. But if I had to sum it up, my vision is simply to make it happen. Whatever it is that I take on, my vision is don't start something if you cannot make it happen. That's it. My mission is to learn something new every single day. Never let my brain ever feel I know it all. Every single day learn one thing at least new. My goal is to give back to the world what everybody has given me in the now almost 6 decades of my life.
Right.
So that about sums it, yeah.
Really interesting. So onto this further, if I ask you about your most important life lessons from personal and professional journey so far. So what are those learnings?
Okay. Lots of learning, I have to say. But if I had to sum them down or put them down into the four major ones that I feel everybody should have: be prepared for what's not expected. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Right.
Learn something new every day. It's the only way forward. And I think this is something that I really feel very passionately about, and I want to share it with your listeners, is have faith in people. there are definitely more good people in the world than not so good people in the world. And my life has been a chain of meeting good people at airports. I mean, I'm probably one of the biggest risk taker I know, but I believe in the basic goodness of people, and that is what has stood me in good stead. And fourth, of course, network, network, network. You have no idea what you will learn from who. So never stop networking. So I guess those would be my 4 major life lessons.
And all of them are really important for our personal and professional journey growth. So if we follow them, definitely it will help us.
Yeah, we tend to mistrust and then expect people to win our trust. But if we work the other way around, we trust them.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, they will rise up to your trust and perform.
That's true. So, ma'am, now coming back to the topic for the discussion today, which I was looking forward to, so how can individuals proactively upskill themselves to prepare for future-ready careers and stay ahead in rapidly evolving job market? But before you answer this, so I'd like to know in a brief, like what are the future careers which we expect?
Oh, okay. Well, it just happens that I did a talk very recently on future-ready careers for students in grade 11 and 12. And I must say, in the research that I was doing for it, it was amazing to find the kind of things that we have. Everything from a drone manager to a food technologist to of course, environment now, then a healthcare data analyst. Artificial intelligence and machine learning rules the world. So everybody who falls in the segment of creativity, because machines will run on information that is pre-read into them. And the difference between human learning and computer learning, or machine learning as we call it, is human learning after a certain age, so we believe, begins to stop growing as rapidly as machine learning does. Machine learning just grows and grows and grows. So machine learning will always be able to give you information which an aging human mind may not be able to. So yeah, I think the key here is, as I said, develop future-ready skills. And the normal communication, collaboration, commitment is what everybody says. But I would go a lot more beyond that and say, answering both your questions in one, keep your eyes and ears open all the time.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
Watch, talk less, hear more. Future readiness will only come if you know what is going on in the world around you and predicting what's going to happen next. Now, I'll tell you how a startup kind of works wonderfully for that. So, for example, in Bata, I had to design fashion line of shoes. Now, you're predicting fashion because Bata takes 2 years to get a shoe on the store from the time it has been designed. So, if as a future-ready skill, I could not foresee what the fashion colors would be, what the fashion styles would be, there was no way I could have designed a shoe line which was going to take 2 years to develop. Similarly, in anything that we do, predict the future and prepare yourself with skills to meet it today. There will be no tomorrow for you if you haven't worked on your today. So that's one. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Get out of it. Here's Jitendra, who just told me his story from being a banker to a startup. And I know he does a lot of other very exciting things as well. If you continue to remain in your comfort zone, that's where you will remain. And that's not future ready.
Right.
Now, the practical things, of course, continually explore. What you do not understand, read, ask, learn. Those are things you need to do. Take short-term courses. Take short-term courses in crazy things. Like very recently, I went to Thailand and attended a creative writing writers workshop. Okay, I have done really, strange things. Go whitewater rafting. It teaches you how to deal with nature, how to live in an environment which is, not your comfortable zone. So take short courses in different things. I learned how to fly a biplane the year I turned 50. because future readiness is about being able
Right.
to talk. Yeah, doing all these exciting things. Listen to podcasts. You meet very exciting people on them. And maybe you don't like everything that they say, but there will always be something for you to take back and prepare you for tomorrow. Listen to other people's perspectives. As we grow very professional and as we grow senior in our work environment, we stop listening to the younger people that work with us. I would always say listen to them because they are tomorrow. They are the
Correct.
new world. And of course, talk, talk, talk to people. The more you talk, the more you reach out, the more you're not afraid of saying, I don't know. Can you help me understand? Is the future ready skill. One person can never know everything, but every person you meet in your life has one valuable learning to give you. And that's what we need to take to be future ready.
So rightly pointed out, these points really helps. And most importantly, like connecting with people, there are lots of learning and you never stop learning. That will help you edge. And most importantly, these days, collaboration is the key.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So, ma'am, if I ask you further, like what are some effective strategies and resources available for upskilling that can help individuals acquire necessary skills and knowledge for in-demand jobs or upcoming jobs?
This is a great question. And well, actually, that's what I have been working with for the past 3 years is, well, I work in the school ecosystem, but by extrapolation, it's the same in corporates. Every organization has to invest in upskilling. They have to invest. When we make annual budgets as senior people in organizations that we either lead or even in startups, I must say, I have always requested proprietors, owners to put away a certain amount of money, invest in people. Infrastructure will come. But people, once skilled, will build your infrastructure. You will not need that infrastructure. So keeping aside budgets, getting speakers of different walks of life to come in, talk to your employees. Yeah, I think those are all way. And I think challenging your employees beyond their KPIs. You give them a KPI and you stump them. Because now you have said you are a customer relations person. You are your KPIs. You have to answer 200 calls every week. Where does that person get the opportunity to grow? Do not limit them to KPIs. Give them targets that they need to achieve, but allow them the flexibility to find their own way of growing themselves, not just within that. Because today's CRM person will be tomorrow's chairman. But if he only knows one role and doesn't know finance and does not know operations and does not know HR, he's never going to be a successful chairman. But in corporates, unfortunately, we tend to do that. But Jitendra, I'm happy to see this changing in startups. In startups, KRAs, KPIs have been done away with. The only people that startups, at least the ones that I work with and advise, only hire people who we call generalists. We put them through every function that is available in the organization. And at the end of that 3 months, we ask them, which one did you enjoy most? And we put them there and we tell them, the day you are not happy here, reach out. We have 10 other roles that you can do. So retaining your people will only come with upskilling, allowing them flexibility, and most important, you can buy their hands, but their hearts you have to win. And that will only come if you give them opportunity with challenges. If you don't raise the bar for them, not happening, because people will only rise to the potential that you see in them. So remember, never put them into tight, structured watershed compartments. Allow them flexibility, upskill them.
Right, that's really important. Like upskilling is the only thing which can make them learning. And if they learn various roles, various functions, and understand what other person is doing and how they can collaborate and work together for the benefit of organization, that will definitely open up many opportunities, not only for them but also for the organization.
That is so true. People are happiest doing what they love doing. And if you can discover that, you made a team that will never go Yeah.
True, that's true. So, ma'am, on to this further, like how can organization play a role of supporting the upskilling effort of their employees to ensure that they are equipped well with the skills needed for future jobs, roles, and career growth in the organization?
A very good question there, and I must say that one of the things that we have always been propagating, me personally, and of course the organization I work with, and that's why I'm there, is the fact that first, just as when you go to a doctor and you say I have a fever, and he says you need to have a blood test. Because then only I will be able to give you the medication that you require and I know what's going to work with you. Similarly, in corporates, what we need to first do is assess where each one of your employees is. And for that, we have something that we call the Zamit quotient, which is a measure of future ready skills, which spans over 100 skills. So a starting point where skills that every individual employee has, and or shall I say partner or collaborator, everybody has, and then work on the ones where you feel the person may be a bit challenged. So, and this would of course be customized but AI-driven programs, which courses, programs, which you can actually get on the net now. And I'm sure that there are other people that are doing it, but Zamit definitely does that. So we have what we call ZQ assessments for all kinds of people. And maybe that's one of the things. And I'm sure there are others that are doing that as well. So future ready skills are individuals. Your starting points will be different. So you will have to have adaptable AI-driven systems because at the end of the day, you need to scale up. And that is probably the way forward for upskilling.
Right.
And flexibility of timing, because you can be anywhere, take these programs, earn your levels, keep improving yourself, reassessing yourself, going back to improving your skills, because skills required will change.
And more importantly, if you fix up the timings for creativity, that would not happen. Creativity comes on the chain.
True that. You can't time it. So it has to be self-paced, it has to be flexible, it has to be adaptive, because starting points will be different. But above it all, you have to find the starting point. Because if you're going to feed the overfed in an area that he's already good at, for example, you're a great time manager. And if I keep teaching you more time management skills, it's not doing you any good, right?
Correct.
However, if your communication skills are a bit challenged, then let's work on that. So what we do is build on your strengths and work on your challenges. That's the key to being successful in the future.
Right. And that's really interesting also and very easy to adapt. If every organization thinks that they want to do it, it is easy, possible. But if they think that it is difficult to adapt, then definitely they have all the reasons to
Well, they are not going to be future ready for sure.
Yeah. So, ma'am, coming back to you again, what is your take on success? What do you feel about it?
Success for me is shall I say, unquantifiable feeling of having done what you set out to do. I'm not putting any big fundas into it because I don't believe in it. And that feeling is unquantifiable, but you know it. So for me, success if you were to ask me the definition, it is an unquantifiable satisfaction of knowing that you have done your best in whatever it is that you have chosen to do.
Right. Simple and logical.
Yes.
So, ma'am, we are on last one. Any message or advice you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Oh, absolutely. And I hope a lot of people are going to listen to this wonderful Read My Story. And together, let's inspire the world. And here's my message for your listeners. Dream and dream. Dream and work hard to realize those dreams. Embrace change and take calculated risks. If you do these three, believe you me, you will be the most future-ready person that anybody would want to work in their organization. That's what's kept me going for all these years. And that's the message that I would want to leave with each one of your viewers.
This is short and really important message. If we follow these three things in our life, then definitely whatever we are, wherever we are, whether we are working on a employment job or we are running a startup, definitely that will excel very fast. And more importantly, we will also learn new things, new techniques, new skills that can create very meaningful like stint whatever we are doing.
Thank you so very much, Jitendra, for giving me this opportunity to share my views with the world. I have to say, this has been a lot of soul searching for me to answer your questions, but with complete honesty and from my heart. And I think that's what future readiness is about, going with your heart and being prepared for it. And thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. So I must say, ma'am, you have shared so many wonderful examples from your journey so far, and not only that, you have shared your professional and personal journey with us. That is so inspiring that you have worked with so many organization, different roles, and what challenges you faced. You have shared about them as well. So and that is kind of a thing which we were looking forward to today's discussion, because different experiences give you a different kind of learning. So that is how you get ready for the future. And I must say, hearing you is really mesmerizing experience for me. You were so to the point, as well as you were shared your examples wonderfully. And this is really gonna help our viewers, listeners, not only them but also me. I have also learned various things from you, and definitely would try to implement them in my organization also. And ma'am, I must say I'm looking forward to invite you again soon very much. And we would be discussing about how startup functions can work more efficiently. That would be the thing which I'm looking forward to discuss further. And I really thank you for your time and energy for today.
I would love to do that. And thanks a lot. And I hope to see you again soon. Stay in touch. Bye bye.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. And I will also share your social media link along with this so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance.
Yes.
So, guys, don't
Yes,
forget
sir.
to check that out too. And thank you so very much, everyone, for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good time, and thank you.